The truth is that Jon and Jaime are not that different in this matter, except for one thing. But first, the facts. Jaime murdered the Mad King, when Aerys II Targaryen was planning to set the entire city of King's Landing on fire. Jaime murdered the king to save the innocent people. He broke his vows as a member of Kingsguard. Jon murdered Daenerys Targaryen, because he realized that she had turned into a tyrant whose obsession with liberating people would lead to more destruction. However, the difference between them is that Jon placed duty above love. He killed Dany despite loving her. Jaime wouldn't have done the same, at least Jaime wouldn't. And I am not judging Jaime for this. It is extremely difficult to abandon your love for duty. And that is why, in the end, Jaime chose to die with his love rather than abandoning her. Jon, on the other hand, previously abandoned Ygritte for the realm, and now he killed Dany for the realm. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also click on the notification bell to remain updated. In simple words, when the Mad King was murdered, Jaime only sacrificed his honor and vows. The truth is that Jon and Jaime are not that different in this matter, except for one thing. But first, the facts. Jaime murdered the Mad King, when Aerys II Targaryen was planning to set the entire city of King's Landing on fire. Jaime murdered the king to save the innocent people. He broke his vows as a member of Kingsguard. Jon murdered Daenerys Targaryen, because he realized that she had turned into a tyrant whose obsession with liberating people would lead to more destruction. However, the difference between them is that Jon placed duty above love. He killed Dany despite loving her. Jaime wouldn't have done the same, at least Jaime wouldn't. And I am not judging Jaime for this. It is extremely difficult to abandon your love for duty. And that is why, in the end, Jaime chose to die with his love rather than abandoning her. Jon, on the other hand, previously abandoned Ygritte for the realm, and now he killed Dany for the realm. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also click on the notification bell to remain updated. In simple words, when the Mad King was murdered, Jaime only sacrificed his honor and vows. But when Daenerys was murdered, Jon sacrificed his love. And there lies the difference. And ironically, that was the prophecy of Azor Ahai. Azor Ahai plunged a blade into his wife's heart to save the realm. Jon did the same. I agree that when it comes to their regicides, they are exactly the same. In fact, Jaime was even more honorable than Jon in my opinion, as Daenerys was not at the brink of killing everyone in the next 5 minutes. She had already done the damage she was going to do in King's Landing. Jon still had time to take any other action that he could think of to save the people from Dany, not debating whether he'd be successful or not. Whereas, Jaime had to kill the Mad King then and there, because otherwise King's Landing would have been a mass grave within minutes. What I'd like to draw attention to is Jaime's resentment towards Eddard Stark. After he killed the Mad King, Ned was the first person to see him and to judge him. The Honorable Ned Stark, as Jaime calls him, had nothing to hear from Jaime the Kingslayer. He once confronts Ned Stark in the throne room of the Red Keep and tells him about how he could remember how the Mad King tortured and killed Ned's father and brother when he drove his sword into the king, and yet Ned doesn't see his point of view, implying that Jaime is simply saying those things to justify his dishonorable deed. Jaime says to Brienne later, "You think the Honorable Ned Stark wanted to hear my side? He judged me guilty the moment he saw me." I'm sure Jaime, who wanted to be loved and adored as the honorable knight that he strove to be, had this question in his head for a long, long time: what would the Honorable Ned Stark have done, had he been in my position? And even though Jaime wasn't alive to see it, we now have the answer from Jon. Jon may have been Rhaegar and Lyanna's son, but he is as close to Ned in personality as one can be. From his decision we can guess that Ned would have probably done the same, broken his honor to protect thousands of lives. I only wish Jaime were alive to see it. Jaime was called Kingslayer because King Aerys hadn't actually burned the city, he was planning to burn it. And Jaime averted it before he could burn it. So people couldn't gauge the damage Aerys could do. They simply blamed Jaime for murdering the rightful king. However, Jon, on the other hand, killed Daenerys after she committed the same gruesome act her father was planning all along. It's like she fulfilled what her father couldn't. Jon and the others had a fair idea of how Daenerys was turning out to be, but they refrained from taking proper action. This saddens me because to show that Jaime was right all along, not deserving of the Kingslayer title and the consequences he faced, the act had to be done by Daenerys. Jaime really cared about the people. He just killed his enemies. I just loved his character because the second time around, he chose to protect Cersei. For me, I say people think Jon is great because they saw what Dany did in KL. So ultimately they all had a proof that how terrible she was and killing her was a wise decision. Still, I'd say it is difficult from Jon's perspective if he still loved her after what she done. After that he went axial to the wall, so in people's eye this is kind of noble. On the other hand, we don't know, rather people did not see what Mad King had planned, and at the end the most honorable man Eddard Ned Stark saw Jaime sitting on Iron Throne with his sword full of Mad King's blood. In that scenario everybody believed what Ned said and nobody bothered to ask the real reason to Jaime, hence he became Kingslayer. I will give Jaime edge in that scenario because he saved KL by killing Mad King and took slang for entire life, whereas Jon let Dany burn King's Landing, let die innocent people and then killed her, got sympathy at the end of course. You know, there's a middle ground between enjoying something and regretting it. Jaime didn't enjoy killing the Mad King. Jaime is not a sadist and doesn't take pleasure from murdering old men. Jaime did what he thought was necessary to save hundreds of thousands of lives. It was a drastic action, but it was for the good of the realm. He does not regret it. Were he put in that same situation, knowing what he knows now, he'd do it again. He does, however, thoroughly resent the reaction to it. He is viewed as a forsworn traitor, which, technically, he is, for it. The great contradiction of Jaime's character is that the greatest and most heroic action he ever took is one that he is reviled for. That's why he has such a complicated relationship with being good. It's hard for him to separate altruism and doing what's right from the massive backlash he got from that one specific deed. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and drop comments. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.